There's a lot of things happening right now in Canada, from wildfires to recent cabinet shuffles to our prime minister undergoing a divorce, gaslighting Canadians. There's still a lot of heckling that's happening to Trudeau and Liberal members of Parliament. And we're going to try and condense as much as we can into this video and cover some of the main topics. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I want to encourage you to give a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps grow the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Trudeau's separation. We're going to be taking a look at some comments that Pierre made where he criticizes our current dictator Justin Trudeau, how the government of Canada is literally gaslighting Facebook for blocking news content. I mean, it just doesn't get any worse than that. And also some immigrants that Pierre Poilievre interviews saying they just don't want to live in Canada. And it's not only immigrants that don't want to live in Canada, it's a lot of Canadians in the Canadian population. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, well, it probably has something to do with our horrible leadership, our insane amount of taxes, crime on the rise, affordability, or lack thereof. So lots of things to cover in this video. Without further ado, let's take a quick look at the first story. So Justin Trudeau wants to thank Canadians for respecting his family's privacy after split with his wife, which I don't know one single Canadian that can really say, oh yeah, I totally respect Justin Trudeau's privacy, and I think that we should all do that. I think everybody is kind of on board with, well, we saw it coming, it's been happening for a while, and now it's just public, but it doesn't mean that they haven't been separated for a long time. They've just now made it official. Not one person, not one headline, not one YouTuber, not one mainstream media has respected Trudeau's privacy. Not even Trudeau has respected his own privacy, which is why we saw him take his kids to opposite gender movies. Very, very bizarre. But we're going to take a look at this because this is actually probably the first time in a very long time that Trudeau has thanked Canadians. Just full stop. He's never really thanked Canadians for much. He's been gaslighting Canadians for a very long time. But nonetheless, let's take a look at this.
JP Tasker, CBC News. Prime Minister, I wanted to ask you, how are you feeling after your recent separation from Sophie?
First, I want to thank all the people who've reached out over the past number of weeks with warm wishes, with personal messages, with personal stories that have been just wonderful and positive. I got a really good 10 days with the family to focus on the kids, to focus on being together and moving forward. And I really, really want to thank Canadians for having been so incredibly gracious and incredibly generous in respecting our privacy and our space. It really makes things easier.
Will Sophie have any role publicly moving forward, or is that it?
We've addressed that. I'm here and glad to be talking about childcare and everything we're doing together to build a better future, not just for my kids, but for everyone across the country.
A better future, not just for his kids, but everyone across the country. I'm just going to take this moment right now to pose the question to the viewers. Do you feel like we're on a path of making this country a better place? Are things more affordable? Are interest rates affordable? Is inflation down? Like, how do you feel? Do you personally feel that things are better? Because me, I don't think so. I think things are getting worse. And thankfully, we have other opposing politicians that are able to call it as they see it, which is what we're going to take a look at right now. Pierre Poilievre commenting on the recent cabinet shuffle. We all want everyone, all the Liberals, all the head figures of the Liberal cabinet, including, but not limited to Justin Trudeau, to leave. And so the cabinet shuffle was a panic mode strategy in order to fix their brand, which is why you saw Omar Algebra, Crazy Cat Lady, this one, that one, they're all leaving. So this is fantastic, including Marco Mendicino, who got fired. So let's take a look at Pierre Poilievre just absolutely ripping into Justin Trudeau.
Justin Trudeau is admitting that he broke the economy, but he's trying to blame it on 7 or 8 ministers that he fired today. But it's him that gave us the 40-year highs in inflation by doubling our national debt and printing money to pay for it. It's him that's brought in a massive carbon tax that he wants to hike to 61 cents a litre, not just on our heat and gas, but on the farmers who make the food, the truckers who ship the food, and therefore all who buy the food. It's Justin Trudeau who kept in place a minister of inflation, Chrystia Freeland, someone who admits that deficits pour fuel on the inflationary fire right before she introduced $60 billion more inflationary fuel on that fire. Justin Trudeau has, the good news, here's the good news. Our economy wasn't like this before Justin Trudeau, and it won't be like this after he's gone.
And I actually firmly believe Pierre Poilievre on this one. I really do think that pretty much anybody, any inanimate object could do a better job at this point of managing Canada and our economy and getting us back on track. If it wasn't for funneling literally billions of dollars to foreign countries instead of pouring that money into our own economy, we wouldn't be in this. If it wasn't for all this deficit spending, we wouldn't be in this situation. So I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments of this. Do you think that it's possible that we can get back on track? Because a lot of people have given up full hope. And we're going to take a look at that right now. Pierre Poilievre interviews this man right here who has, well, just given up all hope of living in Canada.
Everybody, I want you to meet Monty. We're here in London, but you came here all the way from Kitchener to meet me. Why did you want to come and say hello?
I just wanted to make sure that all the things are being addressed, like because we are having so much problems in Kitchener regarding the drugs, the homelessness problems, and I want to make sure, like, I feel safe, my family feels safe in the area I'm living. I don't want to move to US. I'm being into Canada from last 10 years, got my citizenship. I want to make sure that I feel safe in this country. I want to be in this country. I don't want to move just because of the house.
Let me get this straight. You're thinking about moving to the United States? Why would you move to the United States?
Because of the house.
The United States has a less expensive cost for housing across the board than Canada, despite them having over 10 times the population. It's ridiculous. Anyone who can know any little sliver of economy would tell you that, or economics rather, that it just doesn't make any sense. Things are so unaffordable here in Canada. People just can't buy houses. It's become a profitable business for foreign investors, massive corporations. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't blame this individual for saying that he's thinking about getting out, because it's not just him. It's a lot of Canadian-born people that have been here generational. It's a lot of immigrants. It's a lot of everybody is just fed up with, and not even the housing aspect either. If we take a pause out of that and look at the crime rates in Canada and the catch and release bail system, that's also a massive issue here. It doesn't make any sense for repeat offenders to be let back out on the streets. That's the justice system saying, oh no, it's okay. We think that they're going to be better this time, even though they've gone to jail 40, 50 times this year. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical at all.
Housing prices, the grocery bills, like the gas we have seen, like, it's already like around $2.
Right.
And the crime, like, I don't feel safe anymore.
Now, Monty, you were very excited about Justin Trudeau back in 2015.
Yes.
All the excitement and the promises and the emotions, right?
It's all gone. I still remember the night when he won, and there were a lot of promises, and but I don't think so anything has been achieved from the last, few years, and a lot of people.
Do you feel like everything's broken?
I'll say it has been broken a lot, and most of things are going to a different direction. That was not the Trudeau people elected. So there's something different, something not happening that's making common sense.
So everything is broken under Trudeau. Our laws are broken, with violent crime up 40%, shootings up 101%. Our housing market is broken, with costs doubling after 8 years of Justin Trudeau. Our money is broken, as the cost of things like food are up 20% with the worst inflation. And now interest rates going up faster than at any time in monetary history. Our government is broke, with the debt having been doubled. That is the 8 years of Justin Trudeau that has ruined the hopes of so many people like Monty, to the point where he's actually thinking of leaving to go to the United States of America. Listen, the good news is, Monty, is it wasn't like this in Canada before Justin Trudeau.
And it won't be like it after.
It won't be like this after he is gone.
I love to hear that.
Home lower prices by axing the carbon tax and getting rid of the inflationary deficits to bring down interest rates. We're going to bring home powerful paychecks with lower income tax that rewards hard work. We're going to bring homes you can afford by clearing the bureaucracy and freeing up land to build. We'll bring home safety with jail and not bail for repeat offenders, and treatment, not more drugs, for those addicted. That's the Canada we know and love. Do you want to rebuild that country?
Yes, definitely. I think I'll be happy to be my family and me in that country.
That's what we're going to bring home, Monty, for you, for your family, for all Canadians. That's the common sense of the common people, united for our common home. Your home, my home.
Let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home.
It's starting to catch up. It's starting to...
Right on. Thanks.
People are starting to pick up on that saying, and I like it. Again, though, we have to have some sort of guards up because these are promises. Now, they're very reasonable and common sense promises that seem very attainable, but that's also what people thought in 2015. So just playing devil's advocate, I'm not suggesting that Pierre's lying or that he won't fulfill these things, but it's just something to keep your guard up over. And a lot of people are now skeptical of politicians across the board, and you have every right to do that. You have every right to do and to feel and to be in that state of mind, because the reality is politicians are politicians, and it seems like it's always about getting elected and maintaining some sort of power and control. But a lot of people have a different feeling, a very different vibe about Pierre Poilievre, myself included. I'm very excited about the Conservative Party of Canada's direction. And well, all of these, they are promises at this point. They are promises, even though they are common sense promises. I'm very excited. I can only hope for, cheaper gas, cheaper housing, cheaper groceries, no carbon tax for when my child grows up, because I would love her to have an affordable home at an appropriate age and not have to live, please, oh, please, oh, please don't have to live in my basement for many, many years. That would, yeah, let's bring it home, eh? Let's get the kids the houses that they need so that they can move on with their life. Now we're going to segue out of that and take a look at Justin Trudeau just basically gaslighting Facebook. But before we do that, you have to understand what's happening with Facebook and the government. And a lot of people are caught up, but just to kind of, bring everything up to speed, there's a battle between the Canadian government wanting exclusive deals for the news organizations in Canada on Facebook platform, which is similar to how you see some of the big YouTubers out there get exclusive deals for like Rumble or even on YouTube or Twitch. It's getting paid a set fee, right? $50 million a year, $20 million a year, 100, whatever it is, to post, to have your presence and your content on a platform. Now, why is it dangerous for media to have that type of exclusive deal on a big tech platform? Well, that's a great question. And some of you down in the comments, I'm sure, are already starting to answer that. But let me provide my opinion. It leads people to believe that it's propaganda. I mean, if you're getting paid these exclusive deals on these platforms, you're extending your reach, you're getting all this money, all these resources that you can pour back into your business and grow this kind of propaganda machine, and you're not allowing other people to have a voice. That's why the internet is a free market. It's kind of like the Wild West. We're living in like the olden days and modern era of Wild West, and that's kind of what the internet is. A lot of, stoppages with different censorship bills and things like that that the tech companies have implemented themselves, let alone governments. But it kind of is like the modern day old Western type of thing. And I know I'm a millennial. I'm probably inventing some of that in my head, but that's how I view it. And I feel happy viewing it that way. So this is right from Meta's website. Changes to news availability on our platforms in Canada. And when you scroll down, you find this article here. We are proud of the role we have played to support a healthy and diverse news ecosystem. Our free tools and services created pathways for local publishers to connect with their communities and for re-established media outlets to continue to grow their audiences. Free marketing, which generated more than $230 million Canadian in estimated value in a 12-month period. That is a lot of dough that's free to produce. In the future, we hope the Canadian government will recognize the value we already provide the news industry and consider a policy response that upholds the principles of a free and open internet. Some would say a fair market, champions diversity and innovation, and reflects the interests of the entire Canadian media landscape. And that's really what I love about the internet right now. And I'm going to go back to the whole Wild West thing, is anybody can be something. I mean, look at this channel. Look at me. I have over 310,000 subscribers on one channel. this isn't a massive corporation. There's not a whole bunch of moving parts. There's essentially one person, and that's me. So anybody can be anything as long as you put your mind to it. And as Nike likes to say, just do it. So why does the media think that they deserve, or why does the Canadian government think that the media deserves this type of exclusive deal? Well, that seems to be the question that everyone wants to understand. And Justin Trudeau is the only man who can really be to blame for this, because, well, now we're going to take a look at some of the repercussions of the Canadian government's actions. And that's the whole wildfire situation that's happening in Canada. Climate change. And people haven't been able to get the appropriate news on Facebook. People, when you're out and about, you're not going to flip on a television in a store or in a barbershop to watch the news. You're going to go to your phone. You're going to go to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube and try and get or Twitter or X now that they're called. And you're going to try and get some sort of update as to what's going on, especially in an emergency situation. And people have been trying to get information about the wildfires and evacuations and where to go, what to do, who to call, things that are happening. Hey, it's all smoky outside and I feel like there's a fire coming towards my house. I don't know. Let's look at Facebook for an update. That's how the world works right now. Whether you think that that's a good thing or bad thing, it's just the reality is we have a heavy reliance on the internet and social media in general. And the Canadian government has blocked that ability for Canadians, and it's been pretty devastating. So let's take a look at Justin Trudeau criticizing Facebook for implementing this ban when it's Trudeau who has banned themselves and their propaganda machines from appearing on Meta and Facebook.
It is so inconceivable that a company like Facebook is choosing to put corporate profits ahead of ensuring that local news organizations can get up-to-date information to Canadians and reach them where Canadians spend a lot of their time, online, on social media, on Facebook. And we recently passed legislation that says, Facebook, if you're going to be sharing news or work done by Canadian journalists or local news, you have to make sure they're compensated for it fairly. Well, instead of making sure that local journalists are fairly paid for keeping Canadians informed on things like wildfires, Facebook is blocking news from its sites.
And you are to blame, Justin Trudeau. This is entirely his fault. And the fact that he thinks people are going to believe his rhetoric for a second or a moment is just unbelievable. It's gaslighting at its finest. I demand these things. Those demands are not met. And there's repercussions. And now, oh, how can you do this to me? I've asked for simple things. I never made demands. It's a weird kind of dick measuring contest at this point, and Justin Trudeau is losing, which we all know he would eventually. That's where we're going to end today's video, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. I'd love to know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about any of the topics that I've covered. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Consider turning those post notifications on. I hope I've earned that by this point, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you want to support the channel financially, you can do so by checking out the merch shop linked right up there. Or if you want to do something for free, which is also absolutely acceptable and highly encouraged, you can subscribe right there. If you want to continue watching videos like this, you can do so by clicking or tapping right there to watch the next upcoming video. And if you want to watch a little bit of different content, but also Canadian stuff, you can do so by clicking right up there. That's my second channel, House of Canada, also known as the House of Commons Highlights. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.